Deep underground military bases and tunnels. What's really going on?
Pump deep underground military bases, that's gone.
I'm about 5 miles into the mountain. There are docking bays like this everywhere.
Deep down in the trenches, out of sight and mind, there is an underground city.
Hidden 150 feet below Kansas City in a 270 million-year-old limestone deposit. More than 1,600 people work in the world's largest business labyrinth.
It's quite easy to smuggle things through these tunnels. I don't think we should tell anybody about the smuggling activities because I think our government doesn't even know about it.
The first aspect of deep underground military bases is survival in case of a nuclear explosion or war or some other major catastrophe that could happen.
Well, I seen the footage and I really just want some answers. How does someone film an atomic bomb and it doesn't destroy the camera?
Inside, this 54,000 square foot complex boasts everything you could need to live through the end of days. 10 floors and goes 200 feet underground.
At the top, under the dome, are the recreation facilities like the pet park and climbing wall. Underneath that are the mechanical level, medical bay and food stores, with luxury living quarters spread across the next 7 floors. At the bottom, a further 4 floors house a classroom, a library, a bar, a gym and a cinema.
I've still got a window.
When these windows are all on, you're coming out of the units and you see the birds flying and the sunset coming up and the rain and the weather changing. That's the input your brain is used to.
Inside the mountain are 15 2- and 3-story buildings. They are freestanding but connected by hallways and ramps. There is also a service area to keep the complex running, and even reservoirs, yes, underground lakes. You get inside by driving through a 2-mile tunnel, but if it is closed, oh, then there's a problem.
I mean, obviously Cheyenne Mountain was built to survive and endure through a nuclear event, and all of us hope that never happens. And all of us hope that never happens.
In control rooms like this one, which was set up just for us, experts keep an eye on possible threats.
Someplace safe.
They're gonna keep us safe, guys. Next on the list is drugs and cartels.
About 70 feet below ground, a highly sophisticated tunnel built with an elevator, rail system, ventilation, electrical cables, and panels. Likely a multi-million-dollar construction project by drug cartels which have the resources of Fortune 500 companies.
And of course, underground trafficking.
Sorry, I get so emotional. And they take them to these false orphanages, and these children get sold, and their lives get stolen from them.
An estimated 1.2 million children trafficked each year. One has to wonder how on earth you would go about transporting so many people in such illegal circumstances. While underground bases and tunnels are used for military and experiments and tests, survival and drugs, it also seems obvious that they have been used to traffic women and children. Sex trafficking has been rising more with more and more demand in the porn industry. I urge you to look at my video on porn and nofap so that you can find out more information about this.
We received a call from the Department of Homeland Security telling us that a 7-year-old girl was being sexually abused, and that content was being spread around the dark web. And she had been being abused, and they'd watched her for 3 years.
This is a prison cell. Only kids are being held down here.
A giant plastic container with a hole only small enough for a child to crawl in and out of.
There's a child's vanity and a hospital toilet.
Craig, that's a rape tree. That looks exactly like wrist restraints for a rape tree. It doesn't look like anything else.
Close it up, and that's where they live. They live basically behind the drywall, okay, in a tiny little space where they just throw food and water to them, and they're slaves.
Let's consider all angles here, though. Now, could there also be some kind of psyop going on with DUMBs or deep underground military bases? Let's investigate. During the opening ceremony for CERN, we see a whole lot of goat referencing. Now, we all know goats are deeply symbolical in terms of Freemasonry. The real question I have is, does this goat symbology and Freemason link to all these deep underground military bases and tunnels relate to them riding goats or riding kids? Or is this all a big mockery and psyop?
And practice rituals. You never know. It's definitely graffitied up. I don't think it's workers that come.
I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well.
Of course, let's not forget that underground tunnels, underground cities, and catacombs have been used for centuries, since the very ancient days. And there's many hypotheses about what these catacombs and tunnel systems were used for. There's one thing for certain, there's still many questions I have about deep underground military bases and tunnels. But what I really want to know is, what do you think? Have you done any research on this? What did you come to? Please share in the comments below what you reckon this is all about. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got mud floods, fake maps, Antarctica, and all kinds of other stuff coming up in the future.
I was just